Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tyranny. In the last episode, we managed to take over Ascension Hall and the Spire, thus finally defeating the Vendrian Guard. And we also got a new party member, Eep, who was allied with the Vendrian Guard. But because they are now basically defeated and there is no place for her to go, we took her in. So she's basically our mage, doing frost spells and all that sort of cool stuff. So we're gonna try her out. And Lantry is back at the Spire, hanging out. He became more of a liability, even though he's useful as a healer. But anyway, even though we managed to get the we managed to take over the Citadel and Ascension Hall, unfortunately the two main armies, that is Favorite and the Scarlet Chorus, started to fight among themselves even more, and now there's basically a civil war going on there. I was supposed to go to speak to Craven Ash, the leader of the Disfavored here, but before that we are going to have an audience with Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice himself, who is floating in the air like a badass. He looks rather short, but anyway, we are going to have a little audience with him before we go to Craven Ash. So without further ado, let's go see what's going on. And we also see familiar faces, or should I say names. Sivius, Aurora from the very beginning of the game. I don't know her. Mucking Blaze, Bitter Quip, and Bloodmols. I don't know him. I do remember Bitter Quip anyway. But now, let's see what's going on here.
You call yourselves officers of Kyros' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrians well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
Ah, so I don't need to read for this guy. Well, at least for the most part, I hope. And his voice sounds very badass too. The shadows beneath Tunon's cloak darken and flare around him. Murmurs of unease erupt in the court. I think I just listen for now. Your Honor, I have relayed the events as I experienced them. You can well imagine why my version conflicts with his. She makes a dismissive gesture to the Scarlet Chorus representative. On my honor and on that of the great general, I would sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. Snap your sword? Well, that's not exactly very impressive. You can get a new one. So you imply that falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours. You are a fool if you believe the Archon of Justice won't see through your lies because it is favored to think themselves better than an honest gang.
Silence. The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Bled and Mark will see to your fate.
The Archon turns and you feel his gaze upon you. Blade and Mark. Blade and Mark is Kyros' knife in the shadows, the unseen drop of poison that enforces the Overlord's will. He reports to Tunon the Adjudicator, serving in his capacity as the final word to those who hold Kyros' law in contempt. Few know the origin of the Archon of Shadows, or how Kyros maintains a hold on him. Those who anchor the Archon never live long past sunset. I think we read this last time, but hey, it's good thing to reread and, well, refresh your memory.
Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other. In addition to violating Kyros' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
The Archons could not agree on who should lead the siege and descended into accusations of treachery. It seemed a mutual spat. The Archons have been of different minds since the start of this war. Pretty much. Lie, you must be mistaken, I wasn't present. Well, I'm quite sure that he's not stupid enough to believe that. Well, let's say this: the Archons could not agree on who should lead the siege, and descended into accusation of treachery. It seemed a mutual spat. That his favourites were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and training outmatched the Vengeant Guard at every turn. What blanderdash! The disfavored couldn't tip over a straw hut if they had a week to strategize. Oh god, these words. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the Vengeance Guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy, if only Ash and his legion would agree to a plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warn you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign, but I will return to that in time. Let us speak of Ascension Hall. The disfavored sing your praises across the realm, though the Scarlet Chorus appeal for charges of treason. Perhaps you can offer a more enlightened account.
I claimed the Citadel with a small unit of disfavored. Oh lie, I took the Citadel with my own cunning, employing a small group of disfavored as a distraction. How is this a lie? Employing a small group of disfavored as a distraction. Let's not lie to our boss. I claimed the Citadel with a small unit of disfavored.
An efficient solution. The type I would expect from a capable agent. Tell me though, with the edict looming overhead and death the price of failure, why not employ the numerical advantage of the Scarlet Chorus?
The voices of Nerad provoked Ash at every turn. I suspected treachery. The siege called for tactics and planning, not raw numbers. For a long while the Adjudicator hovers in silence, shadows trailing from below his robes.
I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Is there anything you wish to add at this time?
I have told you all that I know.
Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder. A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there.
Alright.
Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder. Ascend and join me. You will find the way opened.
Nice. Oh, he teleported. Excuse me. Alright, so which way? Well, I guess...
I got it.
Yeah. Well, this works too.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kyros' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
Tunon records you in thoughtful silence. I agree, Your Honor, or say nothing. I just stay silent for now.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage, and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus.
I stayed silent, but that gained some wrath with Tunon. Oh, I don't want that. Excuse me. I just want to be respectful and let him finish, and only talk when he asks me. But I guess I can speak more freely.
Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the tiers.
I will take this my mission, Your Honor. What if I find them both blameless? Could they both be guilty? Well, I think that these two are rather dumb questions, so I will just say this. I will make this my mission, Your Honor.
As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name. But you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice.
I do my best, Your Honor.
The disfavored seem the logical first step in your inquiry. The Legion holds you in some esteem. Engraven Ash has shown deference to the court in times past. No doubt the disfavored will be rife with accusations and evidence against the voices of Nerat. Graven Ash is a noble man, but never underestimate his capacity for deception. A wise general succeeds by knowing when to be unreadable to the enemy. You should, of course, speak with the Scarlet Chorus and gather their testimony, but it stands to reason that most in the chorus would sooner brag about a pauldron fashioned from your skull than entertain your questions. Do not regret killing the rabble that impede your investigation. They will be easily replaced.
Oh, I will keep that in mind. Excuse me. I'll speak with the Archon of War. If Graven Ash were guilty, I would imagine all his soldiers would lie for him. Interrogating the Scarlet Chorus seems an expedient move. I think I say this. If Graven Ash were guilty, I would imagine all his soldiers would lie for him.
I concur. Graven Ash has a reputation for honor and nobility, but nobody is above reproach. If he is guilty of treachery in some fashion, his loyal soldiers will not be the ones to betray him. But if anyone is conducting a symphony of lies, common sense would point to the voices of Nerat.
Yes, I agree.
Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel.
Interesting. So we get to meet other Fatebinders at some point.
Though the disfavored were triumphant in the Blade Grave, I understand that their troubles within the region are unfinished. Talk to the disfavored commanders serving in the Blade Grave. Perhaps they can shine some light on the origins of this feud.
Blade Grave? The Blade Grave is a name given to what remains of the realm of Stalwart. Oh yeah, it's that one. Alright.
The Oathbreakers were reported to be using iron armaments, more than they might acquire from looting what few disfavored they killed. Any iron in the tiers not rusted through was made by forge-bound hands in Lethian's Crossing. Between craftsman and quartermaster, someone let iron fall into enemy hands. Investigate this matter and bring the thieves to justice.
Will do.
There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
Though it's impossible to gauge from his expression, Tunon seems more wary than usual. Well, this time I'm not gonna stay silent. What concerns the court, Your Honor?
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kyros, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire.
Yes.
Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
Tunon hovers in observance, awaiting a response. 3. I do know that I have read the 2 edicts by now, but I don't exactly get what's the 3rd one. The fact that we took over the Vendrian Well Citadel and an Ascension Hall, that might be it. Excuse me. I was only doing my job, Your Honor. Oh, how modest of you. I am in a privileged position to accomplish incredible deeds. Just another day in the life of a Fatebinder. This sounds more like bragging too much. I'm not gonna say that. I'm in a privileged position to accomplish incredible deeds. I'm just gonna say this. I was only doing my job, Your Honor.
Your sense of obligation to your role is admirable. but modesty will not recommend you to the task ahead. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kyros' army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title.
Yes, I expected that since the beginning of this game.
If your killing spree in the bastard city is any indication, you are no stranger to spreading infamy already.
Tunon not in approval. Yeah, okay, it's this one. One of my the bastard city where we are right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Understood. I will be known as a champion of justice. I look forward to chaining chaos to my will. Great deeds will define me. I don't want. I'm not about chaos with this character, so I'm not gonna say this. Understood. I will be known as a champion of justice. Great deeds will define me. This sounds more like me.
You begin to understand. Whether your acts are favorable or heinous, it falls to you to bring greatness to this campaign. You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tiers in Kyros' name.
Tunon raps his gavel against the floor, the singular note resounding throughout the hall. And he teleports away. Alright. Oh, he's there. I wonder if I should just go and chat with these guys. I think not. I just leave them. Who are these? Fatebinder Gallia? Ah, these are other Fatebinders. You know what? Let's have a chat with these our fellow Fatebinders here. Fatebinder Rogalus. Fatebinder, you return. Rogalus looks you up and down with an inscrutable expression, whatever that means. You look as if you have questions to me for me to untangle. Ask. I'm feeling generous. Tell me about some of the past Archons. I don't care about that. Where did you study when you were younger? I don't care about these characters' background. What do you think about the other Fatebinders? Can you tell me about the Old Walls and the Bane? I would like to know more about the Tiers. I want to talk about the Sages. There's really there's no questions about the current situation with the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus. Alright, fine. Tell me about some of the past Archons. Much that was known has been lost regarding the first Archon of Frost, but his talents were improved upon by 3 following Archons, sisters born together and never seen apart. It is said Ranna, Nirabel and Slayer were so cold at birth that they were thought stillborn. Alright. I would like to know more about the Tiers. The political entities of the Tiers are essentially split between the Bastard Tier, the Younger Realms and the Free Cities, of which would you like to know? Tell me about Bastard Tier. The Bastard Tier is the most northern of the Tiers and was the first to bow to Kyros' reign, though the knee they bent fell unwillingly. Kyros had his eye on the Bastard Tier for many years before he marched on her capital city. This is the hub of trade and commerce. Claim the markets and the people will follow. What about the Younger Realms? The Younger Realms sprawl the middle and southernmost tiers and can be catalogued as followers: Apex, Azure, Haven and Stalwart. Azure was renowned for its exceptionally fertile land, which fed the whole of the tiers. That was before Kyros' Edict of Stone blighted the land. Stalwart is also worth mention, for its comprises the whole of the southernmost tier and proves the toughest and most defensible of the realms. It is often said that the other realms will not fall while Stalwart yet stands. The local army wages bitter war against its favorite, though the Edict of Storm has cut off the base of their defenses. It is only a matter of time before Stalwart falls. Oh, so it hasn't fallen yet. All right, I thought that was already conquered. I would like to hear about the 3 cities, and I think we are going to move to another Fatebinder after this. There are three cities remaining: Last Harbor, Siperos Maw, and Barris in chains. Great names. The first and strongest of the 3 cities was the setting sun, which Kyros crushed in 429 with the Edict of Tumult. After that, the remaining 3 cities were quick to surrender. Alright, farewell. What about you? Fatebinder Kallio. Rurkak, I see you have returned to the fold. Your exploits in the Vengeance Well are the matter of some discussion. The Fatebinder of Balance regards you with a discerning eye, and for a moment you feel as if she is trying to peer into the very depths of your mind. What can I do for you? Kallio touches a gentle hand onto your shoulder. Has anything happened while I was away? You seem to know much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? How have you? Well, I'm quite sure that everyone knows what we have been up to by now. So it's not like our deeds are a huge secret. How have you occupied your time in the Bastard City? I would like to know more about Tunon. Well, I think we know just enough about him. He's our boss, an Archon of Justice, Kyros' eyes and ears, and yeah, that's pretty much all we need to know. I have some concerns about the war. Let's ask this. How have you occupied your time in the Bastard City? Tunon sends me on assignments here and there. I settle disputes between the locals when the Adjudicator is otherwise occupied. She smirks. Everything from trade disagreements to pushing Kyros squatters out of basements. Real rewarding work, I can imagine. She waves it off. The glory of war is not an honor reserved for the likes of us. We are the fish swimming in Tunon's wake, picking up scraps along the way. We are rather large and imposing compared to the bottom feeders of the tiers, but fish all the same. Well, has anything happened while I was away? There have been whispers that Cairn grew disloyal to Graven Ash's command during the campaign in Azure. I took up the mantle of investigation near Plainsgate, and judging the rumors to be true, dispatched Cairn by proclaiming Kyros' Edict of Stone. The very earth turned against the treacherous Archon as the region split asunder in righteous judgment. I have some concerns about the war. You are free to share them in my confidence. She leans in closer. We cannot crush the opposition with such weak efforts. We are too lenient. I think we got good chances. I mean, I am here. Bloodshed and brutality reign supreme. Peace cannot follow such cruelty. Our armies squabble at each other's throats. Divided, we cannot win. I don't think so. On second thought, let me ask something else. Well, I don't exactly like any of these 3 here. Bloodshed and brutality reign supreme. Peace cannot follow such cruelty. Yeah, let's ask this. Such is the price of conquest. We will bring order to a land ruled by greed and corruption. When we have shown them the true way of Kyros, the masses will weep their gratitude and beg for our favor. She nods to the assembled nobles in the entry hall. It has already begun. Alright, I think this is enough. Farewell. And then we have Fatebinder Nunoval. You have gained favor with Tunon. Oh, it's because we have been chatting with all these 3. Ah, Rurkak, your return unscathed and more acclaimed than ever. As seems to be your way, the Fatebinder of War claps you good naturally and with excessive strength on the back. Come, you must regale me with all that your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. He regards you with a warm, boisterous smile. Speak as you wish. I would pay a boar's weight in rings to know your thoughts. He rakes a hand through his neck. red beard and offers you a grin. Come, let us speak freely. How were you singled out to become a Fatebinder? I don't care. I'm curious about Tunon's mask. I don't really care about that either. He looks badass and imposed with that. I think that's enough reason to wear it. Could you remind me of the history and origin of the Fatebinders? Nah. Tell me more about Kyros' armies, our allies. I have claimed the Spire Adventurins well. I could hear of your past victories in the war of recent events. Well, let's just say this. I have claimed the Spire Adventurins well. So the court's whispers are true. The Fatebinder rubs his fingers along the underside of his chin, pondering his thoughts with great weight. After a moment, he offers you a wishful sort of smile. Someday I would like to witness for myself this tower that has risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky. How were you singled out to become a Fatebinder? Yada yada. Tell me more about Kyros' armies and our allies. Ah yes, with friends like these, our work is often well explanatory. Were you asking about the Scarlet Chorus or the Disfavored? I would like to ask about both. The Scarlet Chorus. Scarlet Chorus soldiers hail from every corner of every realm. As the chorus marches, it conscripts indiscriminately from those it has conquered to replenish its ranks. There is no continuity of command in the chorus. Nerat allows, encourages even, the strong to challenge their leaders. But the chorus has numbers, and brute force is almost always a viable solution, much as Rogalus insists otherwise. Besides, the Scarlet Chorus draws strength from the multitudes it swallows. Its bloodchanters have taken knowledge from various tiers mystics, and many of the chorus's best soldiers were known here in the south. Then the Disfavored. The Disfavored are the iron tip of Kyros' great phalanx, armed with the best weapons, the most comprehensive training, and led by the brilliant Graven Ash. The Disfavored have no equals in open battle. The Legion has a saying, Graven Ash protects, and it's no empty boast. The Archon of War is able to lend his will and strength to his soldiers and give them endurance beyond human limits. Interesting. I have great respect for the Disfavored, but I know where I stand with them. They are very close-knit band, all of them from northern families, many of them related to each other. You know all signs. He smiled wishful. But considering our role in the great hierarchy, I can't fault General Ash for being selective. Alright, I think that's everything. Now I'm wondering if we should chat with these guys as well. Maybe we get favor with Tunon that way as well. Well, doesn't hurt to try, so let's go. Any familiar faces? Well, let's talk with this Albetronus. She seems to be the one leading this gang. Albetronus. Fatebinder, the lieutenant gives you a court nod. I'm ill at ease in this polished hall, but I admit that it's a reprieve from the battlefield and training grounds. If Ash needs me to stay here and represent his interests throughout the occupation, then I'll be up to the task. Alright, so I guess she's not that interested in talking. I think the Blood Mulch here is the... oh wait, maybe better quip. Let's talk with a familiar name. He ignores you with a stern and distant expression. Well, I guess they don't like me that much. I would immolate you right here where you stand if it weren't for Tunon's breath down our necks. Fatebinder, you are no stranger to Tunon's court, but I prefer to spend all little time here as possible. In spite of these closed walls, I feel strangely exposed. He glances up at Tunon. Fair warning. When you backed Ash, you were as good as singing your death warrant. But we shouldn't discuss such matters in a court of law. You'll make our time in the tiers an interesting one, won't you? He smiles for an uncomfortably long time. Of course you will. You have to get favor with Scarlet Chorus, alright. You made us plenty comfortable in Legion's crushing, didn't you? He winks. It was nice to rest a spell and focus on local concerns for a change. Having a broadsword on hand didn't hurt either. Alright, so we got a little favor with the Scarlet Chorus. Alright, well I think that was all from here, so let's get out. And then there's just Noble. Lady Lucretius. Let's have a short chat. This well-dressed older woman stands apart from the milling crowds of nobles. She stares off into the distance, oblivious to your approach until you are right in front of her. Oh, greetings! She offers a reserved smile. And Lucretius, formerly of Thistleholm. You have the look of someone who belongs here. A fatebinder, no doubt. She nods. Do you need something from me? What are all these nobles doing in Tunos' court? She smirks and shakes her head. Trying to look brave, I warrant. But if you crane an ear to any of the conversations, you'll hear a different tale. 3 years since Tunon set up a shop in the bastard city. We are still getting used to our new masters and figuring out what we can and can't ask of them. She nods to the assembled nobles. These are smart, ring-plenty folk. The way they approach Tunon, you would think they were raised under a tyrant's lash. Some have come to settle a grievance, others to pledge fealty. I have been standing around long enough to know that the Adjudicator doesn't care for empty gestures. How has the bastard city fared since the conquest? Kyros' forces took the city as we expected them to, without mercy or restraint. The Scarlet Chorus spilled more blood than we had to give. We have suffered our share of hardships, but it seems that Kyros wants us alive. That's a more generous outcome than some of us were led to believe. What brings a noble like yourself to Tunon's court? A frown cracks her pleasant demeanor. Like the rest of the frightened inbreds here, I came to see Tunon and ask him to right a wrong. My manor was destroyed during the conquest. I told the Adjudicator my woes, but he didn't exactly see eye to eye. Tell me of yourself. I'm the daughter of a noble house. We were wealthy enough to live in the city, but our means beyond that were limited. My mother dealt in fish, textiles and bronze. By the time I inherited, the business was taking care of itself. She signs. Of course all that has changed. Thistleholm is no more, and my name has none of its former weight. Even if we were still in business, Kyros' laws would stifle our trading rights. Perhaps it's better this way. Among other things, Kyros' law of quota and sharing meticulously regulates tradable goods. Permits are issued to the serving merchants on an annual basis, but their allowance circulate by a design known only to Kyros and Tunon. A former wool peddler may be restricted to selling only copper, and the subsequent year trade fresh vegetables. Okay. What is Thistleholm? A great sign deflates her. It was my family's ancestral hall. The oldest stones dated back to the years when the bastard city was naught but a dozen roots and wagons clustering for warmth. Compared to the houses of the great lords, it was nothing special. Age has softened the wood, and its queer placement in the warehouse district set it apart from the finer grounds where lords and ladies strolled for amusement. It was a mess, but our mess all the same. I would invite you over for tea, something stronger even, but it would only disappoint. You'll find naught there but a gaping hole. So what happened? Well, she told us already, but whatever. Collateral damage happened. When the Adjudicator cast his judgment on the bastard city, he destroyed the districts of the corrupt merchant kings, their manors, their counting houses, and yes, their warehouses. Aged, dignified, Thistleholm collapsed as a massive sinkhole opened under her foundation. The bastard city's laws may not have been perfect by Kyros' standards, but my family followed them with respect and never took a copper ring more than we deserved. I can't help but feel that my estate was not the criminal Tunon had in mind during his sentencing. So what are you going to do next? That's the question, isn't it? I appealed to the Adjudicator, thinking he would see reason. After considering my case for all of 8 seconds, he awarded me a belt of rings and a plot of land on the outskirts of the city. Oh, how nice of him. Tunon told me to build anew and start farming. Farming? Can you believe that? She shakes her head. It's not even that I'm opposed to the labor, but we are in a war. I can't have the Scarlet Chorus breathing down my neck, raiding my crops, and Kyros knows what else. Tunon's word is Kyros' law, whether you think it fair or not. Kyros' laws are made to serve the masses, not the individual. Stop thinking and take your rings. Justice is done. The Scarlet Chorus are dogs. I suggest you use those rings to higher protection. Kyros' laws are made to serve the masses, not the individual. I appreciate that, especially when there is suffering or corruption on a grand scale. It all makes sense on parchment, doesn't it? She glances to the left and right with unease. I come from a long line of smart ring-savvy merchants, but even I can't reconcile Tunon's justice with Kyros' law. There's something wrong about it all. Maybe Tunon knows something I don't, or maybe, she tells off, shaking her head in doubt. What do you mean? Speak up. People come here for justice. They usually get a version of it, but it's Tunon's version, not theirs. Half of the time they don't even get what they wanted out of a ruling in their favor. She shakes her head. The deed to a farm, for instance. Now, to put my own ignorance on display, but if more people knew how Kyros' laws worked, they might not come here asking a ruling at all, even a fair one. So Kyros' rules are not well known in the city. Tunon is a servant of law, but he's the overlord's vassal as much as any of us. Sometimes it seems like he uses his position to twist everything in the Empire's favor. We are just pieces on a board, and he can move us wherever the law justifies that we stand. That does sound, well, legal. Kyros defies law. That isn't for either of us to question. Tyranny isn't one to change his mind. Unfair as it may seem, his ruling stands. You should know better than to speak ill of the Adjudicator in my presence. I can only endeavor to bring true justice to the tears. Fascinating. How much is my silence worth to you, ungrateful one? We're not gonna... I don't really care to blackmail this woman. Plus she has suffered enough. You should know better than to speak ill of the Adjudicator in my presence. Forgive me for running my mouth. Before the war, it took more than a harsh word to find one of Bladenmark's daggers in my back. Oh yeah, it's that. But times have clearly changed, haven't they? Oh, well, obviously. Good day, Fatebinder. Yeah, good day. That lasted a bit longer than I wanted, but hey. Bladenmark. Well, speak of the devil. Welcome back, kid. Amusing as it would have been to watch the edict drop, I guess I'm glad you lived. Bladenmark, Archon of Shadows, roses from a faraway stare, turning to face you with a wry smile. Though he stands still, he seems to shift in and out of the shadows that shroud him. Favor with Bladenmark. Here you threw your rings on Graven Ash's side. Not a bad bet, to pick the Archon of War. But tell me the truth, did you go with Ash because it seemed like the right thing to do, or because supporting the voices was a wrong option? Neither Archon was at their best, but Graven Ash is the more capable warlord. Our lives depended on military success. I was not about to hand control to the Archon of Secrets. What sane creature would trust the voices of Nerad? Glare silently. What is it to you, Archon of the Elderly? Is this supposed to be an insult? Archon of the Elderly. Maybe. Well, I'm not gonna get to his bad side. Neither Archon was at their best, but Graven Ash is the more capable warlord. You have gained favor with this favorite, favor with Bladenmark, and favor with the Bladenmark. Alright. The disfavored are nothing if not blindly devoted to their general. And though few in number, they are surprisingly difficult to kill. Oh, sounds like you have got experience. I don't have to like it to understand it. We both have our ways for turning the tides of war. All that matters is that the edict of execution was stayed. Those stationed at Vengeance Well should be thanking you for their lives. Indeed, they goddamn should. Now I assume you are off to go meet with Ash, but first you and I need to have a little chat. Alright, I'm listening. Everyone's keeping an eye on you, because you did something nobody has done before. You mean what? Read 2 edicts? Well, I guess I'm the first one. Got a guess as to what that might be? I'm the first Fatebinder to engage in war against an ally's soldiers. I'm the first Fatebinder to proclaim 2 edicts. Yeah, I think it's this one. I'm the first to resolve an edict before its consequences came to pass. I'm the first Fatebinder to awaken a spire of the old walls. I'm the first person to take an evasive stance against your rhetorical questions. Okay, I'm not gonna ask that. Let me guess, I'm the first Fatebinder Kyros has decided to promote to some position of authority. Can't you just tell me? I think it's this. I'm the first Fatebinder to proclaim 2 edicts. You have gained favor with the Bleeding Mark. Smart guess. But there have been a few others over the centuries who have outlived the honor of proclamation twice. But sure, it's true that most don't survive it. Proclaiming an edict isn't new. Neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict. But you are the first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict, and it didn't kill you. Sorry, what? But you are first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict, and it didn't kill you. In one well swoop, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and woke an arcane structure that had slept for several centuries. Why should I care about any of this? So, why are you telling me this? Did I do something wrong? Claire silently. And now I go on your short list of people who stand out as potential problems. And now I go on your short list of people who stand out as potential problems. Why should I care about any of this? Kyros only knows if you should, but others will hear of what you have done, and they'll assume it's important. They could come to see you as a rival for the Overlord's attention and seek to remedy the problem of your rising significance. I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger you are in now, that you have put yourself on the map. I see. Sticking with the disfavored is a smart idea, kid. At least smarter than getting mixed up with the Archon of Secrets. You'll never really be one of them, but if you value Ash's warriors, they'll serve you the best they can. Yeah, I agree. They are more loyal than the Scarlet Chorus warriors ever can. Thanks for the advice, Claire silently. Wait, there is still so much I want to ask you. Well, not really. Until the next. Thanks for the advice. The Archon of Shadow shrugs to you in farewell, but his golden eyes are alight with interest as he watches you. Okay, so goodbye. Alright. So wait, we can't go to any other places, and it looks like there's quite a few craters in this city, still not fixed apparently. Alright, so can I get out? Wait, where do I click? Alright, this is weird. Show map names, Tunon's court. Where do I click? A stupid question as this might be, but where do I click? There is no any other... Oh, well, there we go. We can do this too. Iron Heart. The massive fortress perched atop of the edge of a tier that helps from the Blade Graves' northern border. Craven Ash took the ancient castle during the conquest and now launches all its favorite operation from this well-defended location. So Craven Ash is there, I take it. Sunset Spire, Leden's Crossing. All right. Well, I don't think that we need to go there. All right. Well, at least we don't need to worry about any edicts or anything right now, so we don't have any hurry. So, Craven Ash took the ancient castle during the conquest and now launches all its favorite operation from this well-defended location. Yeah, I'm quite sure that he's there, so let's go there. It will take four whole days to get there. All right, let's go. Well, damn. This looks like a cool place. Some abilities allow party members to attack multiple times with basic attacks. Oh, okay. I actually also read a tip earlier when this game was loading that if I press Shift and hold it, then I can give multiple commands to the characters, and they all will do the commands in the specific order I gave them. Oh, it looks like these two wants to talk, but let's get to the inside this fortress first. Hello? Graven Ash protects. Indeed he does. Enlisted a tears made to your side, did you? I hope she amuses you at least. Well, she does. I have yet to see her in combat though, but I'm sure that she will do just fine. Iron Walker, alright. And who is this? Welcome to Ironheart. Thanks. Akalos, let's have a quick chat. Greetings, Fatebinder. Akalos, 32nd Legion. What a name. The soldier salutes. Glad to see Tunon's agent in Grey's Ironheart. Ash's troop has no lack of order, but a servant of the court is always welcome. Between our missing commanders and a Scarlet Chorus lieutenant pinned down, I'm afraid we have our hands full. I suppose I can spare a moment for conversation. You need something from me? Tell me about the Scarlet Chorus lieutenant. Seems our troops have this little maggot of a Scarlet Chorus lieutenant cornered over at Sado village, however you spell that. From what I'm hearing, it's the same guy who's been ransacking our caravans the past few weeks. Well, that's no good. If I wasn't already handling something for Ash, I would go and skin the filth myself. You being here simplifies matters. Make sure this lieutenant doesn't leave this village with his life. Well, I guess I have to handle it. Oh, I like the location. Good of you to pitch in. No one will mourn the loss of one more chorus rat. He marks location on your map. Alright. Mike, let's see if he can tell us something else. Not a problem, what do you need? Naturally, you have my undivided attention. Where were you during the conquest? I don't care. Tell me about your home in the north. Don't care about that either. How did you join this favorite? Nah, nothing really. I want to know. They don't seem like merchants.
How'd you take a look at that?
Oh. AOS calling. Is it better than her? Oh, it's actually much better. So we are gonna use that. Heck of a lot more damage and a heck of a lot more recovery. We're gonna use that bad boy right now. And it looks cool too. Alright. Now, do we have a merchant here somewhere? What do we have here? Fox trick. Something tells me that I'm needed here. Don't mind my prisoner. Fox trick. Kind of you to stop and chat. I'm in a sticky situation and no one in my gang is alive or around to help me out. Stop wasting the Fatebinder's time. He has better things to do than listen to some criminals mewling. I'll be the judge of that. Tell me of your problem, soldier. Thanks for hearing me out. Did his favorite aren't keen on conversation. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. It's impossible to get a word in edgewise. She glares at her captor. Soldiers caught me outside a breach in the old walls. That's it. I wasn't inside. I hadn't stuck my toe through the threshold, and I wasn't dancing with any pain. I have a healthy relationship with self-preservation. Then why are you arrested? You are only hearing one side of a story, Fatebinder. Our scouts observed this wretch ready to enter the old walls. Her account is flawed. Her guilt witnessed by multiple trustworthy northerners. The soldier takes a point of standing extra straight when he addresses you. I'm sorry, he's ready to enter the best you have, because I could just as easily argue that you are ready to get knifed between your shoulder blades, but it doesn't count for shit until I see blood and bronze. I didn't go into the old walls. Case closed. Before I adjudicate on this matter, I need your mutual cooperation. If you ask me, this prisoner has already been tried and sentenced. But if this little game will silence her caterwauling, then be my guess. I'll stand by your decision. It couldn't land me anywhere worse than this. What were you doing outside of the old walls? My gang went inside as I tried to tell his favorite class 100 times over. I shouted myself raw trying to get them back out, but the gang was having none of it. Our leader discovered the branch and got himself excited over the chance of finding treasure. Try as I might, I couldn't talk him out of it. Soldier, can you speak to this defense? I wasn't there, of course, but I'm familiar with the arrest record. There was no gang, just a lone opportunist out to make her fortune breaking Kyros' laws. The scouts could tell just by looking at her that she was headed for the breach. She's a fiery one, put up quite a fight when they took her in custody. I have no reason to doubt the charges. So you had no interest in entering the old walls? What was your gang doing in the old wars? Any idea where your gang is now? What's a favorable ruling worth to you? Did your gang cause the breach in the old wars? I'm ready to make my judgment. What was your gang doing in the old wars? Any idea where your gang is now? I never saw them make it out of the old walls, so either they did or they didn't. My money's on the latter. If they made it out, they aren't wasting their breath trying to fight me, so fuck 'em. I like the attitude. If I had a mind to recruit, she would be my second or third. So you had no interest in entering the old wars? What was your gang doing in the old wars? Never. I grew up in the tiers. Even we knew better than to go out inside the old walls. If not because of Kyros' law, because the things lurking inside were like to eat us. Whatever you find in the shadow of those ruins is not worth the risk. Did your gang cause the breach in the old walls? What? Are you kidding me? I would either take incredible force or incredible magic to pass through that ancient barrier. We had neither at our disposal. Either one of Kyros' edicts or some local mage caused the breach. Whatever ruling you make, don't pin that on me. I'm inclined to agree. Don't make the mistake of giving this one too much credit. What was your gang doing in old wars? Causing trouble, looting, no more or less than what gangs do. Our boss was obsessed with holding his position, which is healthy when you are in the Scarlet Chorus. When he came to the conclusion that the old wars might have some powerful artifacts, he resolved himself to find one at all costs. Funny to see a guy who wrapped up in a survival trying to get himself killed. Typical behavior from someone who isn't confident in their leadership. Makes for a nice self-fulfilling prophecy when their own gang takes them down. See, she understands. Fox tricks bows to verse. What's a favorable ruling worth to you? She snores. I would love to help you there, but the disfavor took everything I had. Pity, I had a mountain of rings that I would have split. You can thank our mutual friend over there. She nods to the stone shield. The young lady was captured with some rusted weapons and a pittance of rings. I would hardly call that a mounting. You have your story, I have mine. I'm ready to make my judgment, finally. I think this took a bit too long than I wanted. Let's have it then. I hope you got everything you needed. I don't trust your testimony, I find you guilty. If you were in the old wars, you were in the old wars. I ruled in your favor. Yeah, let's just say that if she wasn't there, then she wasn't there. You have gained friend with his favor with the Scarlet Chorus. Finally, someone who listens to reason. I won't forget it, Fatebinder. You are an ally to falsely accused treasure hunters everywhere. Stay out of trouble. The Chorus needs competent fighters like you. Well, I exactly wouldn't call her well, actually, never mind. I guess she is competent because she didn't want to get into trouble. And yet her gang got into trouble anyway. I'm afraid that trouble finds me more often than not, but yours is the voice of experience, Scarlet Fury. This goes against my orders and my reason, but I cannot argue the ruling of Tunon as agent. I'll let you go, try and stay out of trouble. I'll stay out of the old walls, but that's all I can promise. Don't mind my prison. I already said that. Alright. That took longer than I wanted. The stall contains spoils acquired on the battlefield. All of it neatly labeled and organized. He doesn't look like a merchant. Oh wait, well, let's... Yeah, I didn't think so.
say that's worth a second glance.
Ah, let's see what we have here. Ah, some stones. Nice. Can sell them. Don't mind me, I'm just stealing your stuff. Osmia. You must be the Fatebinder of Tunon, his favorite Ironwalker boss. Welcome to Ironhearth. I'm sure that Graven Ash appreciates any help you can offer. Circumstances have a way of coming together so that the disfavored are always stretched thinner than we would like. What can I do for you? Why are the disfavored so overworked? Where were you during the conquest? I don't care. Why are the disfavored so overworked? She rubs her palms together and frowns. We are trying to shoulder the brunt of this civil war without the strength of numbers. The Scarlet Chorus can throw 1,000 disposable bodies at an issue without a second thought, but we are forced to be a little more discriminating. We might be trained to deal with the stress of combat and all-night drills, but we are fatigued even by the high standards we set for ourselves. She studies you in a cautious manner. Not that I need to burden an agent of the court with my misgivings. Once the war is over and the tears are properly subdued, my hope is that Kyros dispatches some relief troops to support the occupation. We all deserve a season of rest. The court is always receptive to the needs of soldiers. Your point is noted. I hope you might as well. I hope you fight as well as you can complain, soldier. Let's not say that. That's very generous of you to say, Fatebinder. I'm grateful to know that someone is listening. A nervous smile brightens her expression. How can you tell with that mask on her head? Alright, I think that's enough.
Will do.
The production of new potions isn't keeping up with demand. Many of these bottles remain empty. Shame. Are you? Quartermaster. There we go. Even though you are not a fully fledged disfavored recruit, I have been authorized to grant you purchasing rights from our store. Within certain limits, of course. Would you like to see what we have to offer? Yes, show me your verse. Actually, before that... Oh, damn it. There was an option to ask something about the limits, but guess I can't ask that now. Damn it. Oh, we got some blue items. Oh, damn, these look very good, but they're also expensive as hell. 200 sword, 100 thrown weapon, iron guard armor. I guess we could. These two have exact same stats from what I can see, and yet this one is still 10 bronze rings cheaper. Not that I mind. I think I buy this for myself at least. And verse, should I? Yeah, this is not as good for you. Earthshaker ropes for Eep. No, not really worth it to buy. Camping supplies. How many do I have? I can't apparently see from here. Well, I guess it doesn't hurt to buy 2 at least. What about shields for Barrack? Heavy guard armor. I would buy for. There I can see the camping supplies. All right, good. So I would buy an armor for Barrack, but I can't get rid of. He can't take off his fused armor because they are part of him, quite literally. Anyway, then we are gonna sell our crap we don't need. Maybe we are gonna get our money back. Oh, what's this? I didn't even notice this. Well, not for you, Barrack. Give it to Barrack, or just put it down here. All right, this is better than what you have now. No, but it is. Yeah, it's a heck of a lot better than the one I'm wearing now, so I'm gonna wear that. Oh, and I guess I should use dual wielding too at least some point. I kinda regret now that I didn't pick the two-handed sword mastery. Although I think my guy can learn it if I use this weapon. Wait, you can use this two-handed. Oh wait, this is one-handed weapon. I thought it was two-handed for some reason. His favorite iron sword. Do we have anything else we want to sell? Yeah, let's sell this away as well. And then we don't need these anymore. And then, do we have anything here that we don't need? What's this? House seal. This seal was made with care and attention to detail. You recognize its sigil from the merchant house Hand Over Guild. Alright. What's this? These stacker plants, alright. Scroll. Well, I don't know if that's going to be useful, so I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I think we are good, but I'm just wondering. I think I should just try and play more with the dual wielding. Oh wait, I can have two other specializations by the looks of it. I think I want to try out and use two-handed swords at some point when I find one. This is so damn good, but also so expensive. I think I'm gonna save for now. Oh, I got one iron ring. So how much is that? 100 bronze rings, I take it. Well, yeah, let's save up our money for now. Alright. Now let's put this better armor, even though I do like how I look all barbarian and such, who has been raised in the wilds and is more comfortable like this without armor. But I think it's better that we upgrade ourselves. This gives a hell of a lot better stats. Yeah, this looks very cool. Although I still prefer this barbarian look still, but let's just put this on. I'm gonna save this though. Yeah, looks cool. I like this glow on the back. Alright.
Right.
Oh, there's loot over here. Got some boots. So basically I could... they are not that good. Good to see you, Fatebinder. I hope you're representative disfavored whilst out on your adventures. I'm not adventuring, I'm just doing my job. Adventuring is when you're not when you're not answering to anyone, or at least that's how I see it. And it's Graven Ash himself. Good thing that he was here. And I can see loot. Merchant tunic. I'm not gonna wear. Well, let's just see what it looks like. Yeah, okay. Alright, and who is this? Just an Iron Walker. I think we're gonna have a chat with Graven Ash before we end this episode. There's been lots of talking and chatting in this episode, not much action. Fatebinder, it's good of you to report in. These days it is difficult enough to judge friend from foe. I am pleased to recognize you as the former of the two. Ash favors you with a court nod. You have gained wrath with Graven Ash. What did we do? I see you brought the voice of Nerat, spying a whore to my doorstep. Lest you think me amused by your irresponsible conduct. Know that I am not. Verse is a useful ally, I need her on my side. I keep her around for my amusement, Archon, nothing more. Verse is a useful ally, I need her on my side. Loyalty with Verse. At least until we get tired of each other. Don't worry, old man, I'm not going to drive a blade into your spine. Not while you are wearing a breastplate as thick as the old walls anyway. Graven Ash glares at Verse and returns his severe expression back to you. His mouth is set to a disapproving line, and he seems on the brink of saying more, but waves off the matter. Yeah. After what transpired at Vengeance Well, the Disfavored must hold fast to our allies. You are here because of your support at the siege, but I don't mistake your confidence for devotion. The Scarlet Chorus would not have you. I'm here to serve the Disfavored and stop this civil war. I hope you can convince me that I made the right choice. Tunon is my master, and he stands above your petty squabbles. I'm here to serve the Disfavored and stop the civil war. Well, actually no, I didn't come here to serve the Disfavored, to be honest with you. I just like you more, that's it. Tunon is my master, and he stands above your petty squabbles. Yeah, let's be harsh and just tell the truth. If he stood above them, then he could see well enough how the voice of Nerad has conspired against our forces since the beginning. No, for all his claims of objectivity, I have my suspicions that your Adjudicator is as compromised by this war as any of us. I was actually afraid that a little bit afraid of that I was going to get some wrath with him, but apparently not. What is it you require? How can I continue my service of the Disfavored? I want to know more about the Disfavored. I think we know enough about that. Tell me about your connection with your soldiers. Yeah, let's ask that. Every member of the Disfavored is as precious to me as family. Their bloodlines are known and respected. Their performance in combat beyond every expectation, and I would go any length in their service. They call me General or Archon, yet I consider myself a servant and guardian of these excellent women and men. But I suspect that isn't what you intended to hear, There is a deeper connection still. What does this mean? Graven Ash Archon forms capable of shielding his allies from injury and fatigue. This protective influence exerts itself even from far away, or as he sleeps. If he sleeps, the rumors disagree. Few understand how this arcane power works, but all who have faced the Disfavored in battle will attest that Ash's soldiers can survive serious harm and shrug off the fatigue of starvation or long marches in heavy armor. When the Disfavored are wounded, Ash's Aegis, as some refer to the Archon's unique power, appears to help the Disfavored swiftly recuperate and return to battle. But to appreciate it, you must understand our history, my rebellion and my rise to power. Cut the case, old man. This is no time for tale spinning. Let's not be that rude. Well, let's humor him. I want to know more about the Disfavored. We are more than a mere army. I ensure that the Disfavored Legion represent everything we hold dear in the North. Rigid discipline, training to perfection, respect for law, and the importance of family. As conquerors, it is our duty to teach the savage lands not just how to live up to the values the Empire sets, but how to live for them. What is the Legion's history? Tell me of the units. You regard the Southerners with great severity. Do the Disfavored have their own laws? Let's talk about something else. What's the Legion's history? I've got some favor. As Kyros conquered the North under a single banner, there were those of us who resisted the call to unification. I was a young warlord at the time, petulant and inflated by pride. I rallied the sons and daughters of the North to stand against Kyros. Our offensive was valiant. We planted our shield wall between the armies of Kyros and our homeland, declaring that no tyrant would dare cross us. You actually stood against the Overlord? Unbelievable as it may seem in prospect, that is so. At the time, I thought it the only possible option. Bending the knee to a foreign power was not a prospect I could audience easily. Our name suggests the army has a blemished history, but our uprising in defense of the North is a source of pride. Would Would that I could have stood in your shield war, General. You were there in essence, my champion. The bloodline of Barry Conan reaches into the deepest annals of northern lore, or else you would not count yourself among my beloved soldiers. Asher inclines his head toward Barrick with reverence. We held our ground for a time, drawing the attention of others who would add their strength to ours. Every victory was discussed and celebrated by other warring factions that refused to submit. As you have witnessed, none can stand against Kyros. Even my legion shattered against the relentless onslaught of Archons and soldiers. They brought me in chains before Tunon. He told me that enemies of Kyros would all be put to the sword unless I took that one opportunity to surrender and join the fold. Well, what did you do? Well, I think it's quite obvious what he did. He submitted to all of Tunon's demands. Go on. Out of loyalty and love for my countrymen, I swallowed my pride and bent the knee, offering my sword and my life to the Empire. My army was granted the rights of Kyros' peace, and we live on as servants of the Overlord. Since we had transgressed and rebelled against the offering of Kyros' protection, my elite legion was stripped of their decorated name and dubbed disfavored, a mocking reminder of our past crimes. Even as we stand above all others in the ways of war, we struggle to earn back Kyros' favor. Every soldier in my legion is descended from those who stood with me during the rebellion. I keep them close to me because they were the finest northern stock, and their continued lineage is a reminder of Kyros' mercy. That goes for you as well, child of the North. By your unwearying loyalty and respect for your heritage, you are beloved in my eyes. He nods at Barrick. Oh, I thought he was talking to me at first. Disgusting. I hope you don't expect me to listen to this sentimental drivel much longer. Verse, shut up. You sound jealous, Verse. Maybe you just don't know how it feels to be favored by an Archon. Nor would I want to. If the voices of Nerad takes an interest in you, that's one step closer to having your skin flayed and sewn into his tent. Tell me of the units. You regard Southerners with great severity? Oh, do tell. Ebb's eyes light with excitement. Do we smell bad? Is it the accent? The Legion takes hatred of the Tearsmen and elevates it to an art form. Just what exactly did we do to offer such offense? The South has squatted in willful ignorance of Kyros' superiority for so long that they don't deserve my respect. As the rest of the Empire coalesced, I don't know that word, into a united shared culture, the Tearsmen prided themselves as distinct. We looked on them from afar with nothing but scorn. All that I see in the Tears confirms my bias. There is lawlessness, neglect, corruption, infighting, everything the wounded North has disposed of through superior breeding and culture. I see hope, potential. This place is unformed, and it's our duty to fashion it properly. I see hope, potential. You have gained wrath with Graven Ash, you have gained wrath with his favored. That wasn't exactly what I was planning or wanted, but what is done is done. You must be uncompromising in your execution of Kyros' law. Never forget that our stance on the battlefield already places us in the right. Don't let any pretense of southern values color your opinion. Ah, damn it, I should have just stayed quiet. Of course, it's possible that these Tearsmen may come to enjoy all the best of Kyros' offerings, but it will take generations of trial and the long-term eradication of culture as they know it. A worthy pursuit by any standard. Nice to hear the General confirm it. The Tearsmen are a naturally defiant folk, and you would have to silence our ways for generations to shake the courage and tenacity out of our blood. Keep talking, Tidecaster. You can join your friends in one of the many mass graves that litter the realm. Barrick, don't be rude now. Barrick, that's inappropriate. Ebb was just stating an opinion. Know your place, mate. Your commentary is not needed here. Well, she was our enemy. So I guess we can be a little mean to her. Yeah, let's say this. Plus, I bet Graven Ash is going to like us more. Lost loyalty with Eep, lost loyalty with... You have gained loyalty with back, you have gained fear with Eep. Ah yes, because my unsocialized banter could so easily destroy all the disfavored. And this precious alliance of yours, forgive me, I forgot how immensely powerful my words are, and how spineless and easily offended your friends happen to be. Well, it is a great shame that we lost some loyalty with Eep, but then again, I don't know that can your companions betray you? That's actually very interesting to see. But anyway, let's talk about something else. I want to ask about your rebellion against Kyros. I don't care. How can I continue my service of this disfavored? These are troubled times for all, but none more so than the forces of Kyros. Our organized offense has splintered. Loyalties are challenged at every level of command even, and much that we have built during the conquest crumbles under its own weight. We had thought the Vendrian Guard were the final death rattle of this region's defiance. We were wrong. The Tears have risen up against Kyros, emboldened by their countrymen. And while the disfavored labor to maintain order, the voices of Nerad grows his army of lunatics and sellswords, preparing to lash out when we least suspected. So our little exercise in defiance wasn't a total failure. I'll try and find some cold comfort in that knowledge. Yeah, I thought you would like that. I can only imagine that the voices is driving his gangs mad with plots to storm this fortress. There can be no peace while the voice of Nerad lives, and no order while the Scarlet Kyros rampages across these lands. The elimination of Kyros must be our first priority. Then we will have our time to govern the Tears as Kyros intended. Can I depend upon your support against this scourge? What would you have me do? Tell me more of the Tears uprising. I try not to bother myself with the details. These objectors will be dealt with and forgotten soon enough. I know of the Unbroken, a group of former stalwart miscreants that arose in the Blade Grave, arming themselves with a misguided sense of national pride. Beyond them, the dissident elements of this fallen realm interests me little. What would you have me do? Our position of authority in the Blade Grave is far from secure. We need to establish ourselves in the region in order to cultivate our strength for the battle to come. As soon as I am confident in our stances, we will depart this realm and wipe the Scorus threat from the face of Terratus. The Unbroken. The Unbroken Legion was the proud and accomplished army of the realm of Stalwart. Citing their victories as evidence of skill, they prided themselves on never facing defeat while fighting on home soil. After the Edict of Storm tore apart Stalwart and twisted it into the Blade Grave, barely a 20th of the Unbroken's former strength survived to continue the war against Kyros' forces. So the Unbroken, former daughters and sons of Stalwart, vex our efforts to secure this region. The Edict of Storms offers them cover. They split past our patrols in the light of day, hiding their movements behind clouds of dust and debris. Kyros cast his blight on the country to set an example, not to plague those of us loyal to the north. You must travel to Sentinel Stand and seek out Stridus Herodin. He is the last of the old Stalwart plotline who called themselves Regents. Put him to the sword and end this edict once and for all. Who is Stridus Herodin? The last of an elder plotline that ruled Stalwart and maintained its dignity. He is also a filthy coward. During the last battle of Stalwart, he crouched behind the walls of Sentinel Stand Keep and refused to meet our forces on the field of battle. Why is he so important to the edict? You should know that better than anyone. Did you not proclaim Kyros' will upon this realm of Stalwart yourself? Well, I think I did, but I don't remember the exact details. He would He would neither surrender nor impel his soldiers to do so. As such, Kyros decreed that storms would ravage the country until the regent was dead. Stratus Herodin was free to kill himself, of course, but he was either too proud or too gutless for the task. Why has no one killed Herodin yet? Because he persists in crouching behind the walls of Sentinel's stand. With the Edict of Storms raging around the citadel, no one has been able to enter or exit since the last year of the conquest. No bird or missive has left the wind wall either. The edict is all the proof we have that Herodin still lives. Consider him dead. Find the last regent, kill him, end this Edict of Storms, and staunch this seeping wound of rebellion once and for all. The downfall of the Unbroken and the old regent will send a message throughout the tiers. Our rule is absolute, and dissenters will not be tolerated. Could we not find a common ground with the people's stalwart? Screw that. I will travel to Sentinel's stand and judge by my findings. Consider it done. You have gained favor with disfavored, you have unlocked a new location. There is one final matter to discuss. My daughter went missing in the second year of the conquest. I have reason to believe she is trapped in the fortress of Sentinel's stand. If you can find Amelia, bring her home to me. How do you know that she is in Sentinel's stand? It is the one location in all of Stalwart we cannot reach. If her detachment of soldiers was taken captive, she would have been placed beyond my power. No doubt for the southern wretches to use for negotiation. His expression twists with distaste. Tell me about Amelia. She has her father's stubborn persistence. She's an excellent fighter, though more brazen and eager to test herself on the field of battle. I have objected to this disposition in the past, but it seems as integral to her being as the very breath she draws. Okay. Our relationship has endured its challenges. The last several years I have been a better general to her than a father. Once the war is over and she is restored to the Legion, I hope we can find it in ourselves to know each other once more. What makes you think she's still alive? We have traveled together into this foul and corrupt land. You are no doubt aware of the Aegis. Oh yeah. I extend to my troops. It is the boon I grant my Northerners for loyal service and devotion to our shared cause. As my army feels my guardianship, I am keenly aware of them in turn. Their concern, their pain, it is my burden to carry as their leader. Amelia is alive. I have awoken at night in cold sweats, my bile rising with violence. What torment she suffers at the hands of those stalwart animals is a mystery. I only want her restored to heal in the company of the Legion. Could she have willingly abandoned her duties? Not good idea to ask that. If I find her, I'll assure her safe return. Sounds like a conflict of interest. I'll bring her back if I have time. Let's just bring her back if we find her. You have gained favor? Yep. That is all I ask. Amelia is but one soldier. Yet if I had the forces to dispatch, I would make her retrieval my highest priority. She is a commander of the highest renown, and a paragon of northern values. Fatebinder, I offer you my support on this mission. The Blade Grave is a place of memory. I left many cohorts buried among the ruins, and no small part of myself as well. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'll consider your offer, but I make no promises. I understand you have your priorities and your way of getting things done. I just thought. He looks away, unable to or unwilling to finish the thought. Your map is already marked with the position of Sentinel stand. It would take me 100 lifetimes to forget those old walls, or the day the edict shattered our advance. I have further questions for the Archon of War? Let's be off then. Actually, let's not be off quite yet, because we are gonna end this episode here, and oh boy, did I have to read a lot here. And there was very little actual, well, action in this episode. But maybe there's going to be some more in the next one, where we are going to the Sentinel. I forgot the place's name already, but we are either going to that place to kill the Regent, or we are going to meet the Scarlet Chorus and have a chat with Voices of Nerad. and see what he has to say for himself. I don't know. We'll see next time. But anyway, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.